All right. Are we working? That is the question. Copy. And is this working? I think this is working. You're not working. Rachel's not working. Hey, Rachel. Hang on. Hello, everybody. I can see we're very slowly tuning in here today. I will just banter on as per usual. Good that I am visible. I'm just gonna give the lens a little wipe. 1 second. This is not too personal. Okay, a little personal. There we go. That's a bit better. Now I'm not streaking. There we go, and that's all good. So I will turn this on silent now. Fantastico. Hello, folks. Welcome. I'm not gonna lie. I'm in a bit of a kerfuffle right now. Yeah, this was not entirely gone as planned today, but we're here, and I have a tent up. And this live session here today is in celebration of the Wild Winter Solstice Great Garden Campout. So I just want to say, first of all, welcome to all of you, and I will jump into what the session is going to be all about very shortly. But first of all, it's nice to see the numbers cropping up in the corner, which is fantastic as people tune in. Could you please let me know where you're all tuning in from? And have you finished preparing for Christmas? And are you, most importantly, in a tent in your living room or are you in a tent outside? If you're currently outside and you're in the UK, I'm fairly certain you're going to need to turn the volume up extremely loud because it's so freaking windy out there. So yeah, cool. I'll just go for another minute or so. And then we'll jump into this live session. I apologize if you see me itching. I have a bit of a rash. I'm definitely a little bit under the weather today, but I'm trying not to itch it. So if I itch obsessively, please tell me not to itch. Oh my gosh, it's so itchy. I can share personally, I'm absolutely terrible at not itching things. I'm very prone to mosquito bites and stuff, and that just drives me freaking mad. Anyway, fantastic. Good. I can see folks are tuning in. Copenhagen inside, stormy here. All ready for Christmas. Living room tent due to the wind. Nice. Tent in London, not too bad here. Very good, James. Very good. Windy Blackpool in the living room. Nice one, Rachel. And well done, Mark, as well. That's super cool. You guys are awesome. I had hoped to get the Facebook group up and running a little bit more, but I have been stretched to my absolute maximum capacity in this last couple of weeks. And so I'll be honest and say that this sort of event has slipped to the wayside a little bit. But I've been aware of it coming up. I'm always aware of winter solstice. It's always a bit of a hurdle, isn't it, for winter to get over and know that we've got in theory more daylight every single day from here forth. But yeah, it doesn't always feel like that, does it? I don't know about you. I find that sort of January, February can be sort of the longer months. Sorry, I hesitated then because I'm actually questioning myself about that because it's always so busy. But anyway, I think it's time to get the show on the road. I would say the prime viewing of these live sessions is the first 3 to 4 minutes as I'm waiting for people to join and just talk about absolute nonsense. So welcome officially to the Wild Winter Great Garden Campout for winter solstice. It's such a mouthful. I always get it wrong, but you get the concept. So back in 2020, I set up the Great Garden Campout. It was a very unofficial thing, but it actually really got quite popular. We had several thousand people taking part at one point. And initially, it was just a one-off event that I initiated during COVID 2020, basically encouraging people on a set day to go out and camp in their garden or camp in their living room and share their photos, make a little video and post it on social media with hashtag Wild Great Garden Campout. And I was just thinking earlier this year that I'd really like to bring that back. It doesn't take a huge amount of work on my part, other than just showing up essentially for one of these live sessions and a bit of promotion, which is always far more than you'd ever think it could be. But yeah, I just thought, winter solstice is a really nice time of year to challenge ourselves because it is dark and windy and cold outside. And I just managed to put a reel up on Instagram and stuff. And everyone's like, no, I'm not camping. It's too windy. And it's like, yeah, fair enough. But it doesn't have to be black and white. Like, you know, you can't camp outside because it's too windy or perhaps elements you don't want to be out in. But, you know, this is where we can have fun and put a pillow or two up in a horizontal shape and some blankets and have a bit of an adventure there. So that's super, super cool. So yes, so basically I had planned on being outside. I had promised campfire and s'mores, but that alas was not to be. It is just far too windy out there, and I kind of also forgot the part that it's dark, you know, because it's the winter solstice. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. And I was getting a little bit stressed out about it. I'm sort of, as I say, really stretched to my limits at the moment. And then my dad, bless him, was like, why don't you just put it up in the living room? I'm like, oh yeah, great idea. And then as soon as I put the tent up, which I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit of a wrestle with the Christmas tree, which I'll show you in a minute, because it is niche, to say the least, our Christmas tree this year. Yeah, it was a bit of a wrestle because it's a bit tight. But as soon as I put the tent up, look what happened. Oh, where is he? There he is. His little tail wagged, and then he was like, woohoo! Bobby, say hi. He's like, huh? I like this camping, he says. So, yeah, just super, super nice that Bobby likes the tent as well. I mean, you wouldn't be such a fan in the wind and the rain. So it's even accessible for your pets. Look at that. Look. So that's really, really nice. Yeah, and I've just chucked a couple of blankets and pillows in there. I'll make it a bit more cozy later, I expect. But anyway, I'm really excited to be hanging out with you guys. Has anybody sort of built a pillow blanket fort? So are we all in tents? And if we're in tents, how are you managing it? Because this is a freestanding tent. It doesn't need pegs. And if you don't have a freestanding tent, I'm curious how you've done it. Like maybe you're using, I can't pick that up. It's too heavy. We have like a frog doorstop. I was going to say maybe you're using frogs, but you know, never mind. Sort of built duvet fort ledge. Well done, Rachel. So quite a few folks on here are within my Patreon community. So I really want to encourage you, if you're in the Facebook group on the Patreon community, to share your images. How are you on the roof, Mark? What am I missing here? I don't know what I'm missing. But anyway, so I'm going to also show you our Christmas tree now. So we don't get a conventional Christmas tree because it just doesn't feel quite right to us to take the life of a tree every year. And then we also don't have a synthetic one. My family have a synthetic one. Is it even called synthetic? It's not a freaking down jacket, is it? But a plastic tree, a man-made tree that can be reused. My mum has one, for example, that's as old as I am, which is super cool. And my dad's just going very strong, very nice trees. But for us, it's like I don't really want to do that because we also want to keep it natural. So how do you keep it natural without killing a tree? Well, last couple of years we have built a tree. So essentially, we have foraged sort of a nice vertical trunk, and then like ash branches and things, and we nail them in, and we sort of make a tree, and it's a bit interesting, shall we say? And this year, and I wasn't super keen on a tree, but I like to have a tree, and we said, okay, fine, we'll see what we can find. So we just went out to call it a day with the conversation and went on our little bobby round, just a 1.5 mile loop, and. And Bobby was pooping. This is the story. I'm giving you full details here. And Anna's just on the verge and goes, what about this? And she just holds up with this huge branch that had clearly fallen down from the tree, like it was on the other side of the road. And it's got it's got moss and fungi on it, and it looks like something out of a horror movie. But we go, yeah, that's our Christmas tree. And so we've covered it in lights. When we decided to buy some lights, so we bought some lights that are plug-in. And Anna has lots of baubles. I don't own a bauble. I own this though. This is what I do own. 1 second. I own this. Someone gave me this. I don't remember who it was. I think it was one of the Patreons. Or my mum. I don't know, but I have this. This is my Christmas decoration that I own. Yeah, and let's put it back on. There we go. And now I'm going to show you our tree. Okay, are you ready? Freaking awesome! It's amazing. This is our tree. So it's a dead branch that we found, and there's a base, like a Christmas tree base. So it's clamped into that. You can see the fungi on it. Yep, we like fungi. We all need fungi. Everyone likes a fungi. And you see the dog on the top. Hey, dog always has to be on the top. And these are the presents for the fam, most of which Anna has made. So we've gone for oh no, that's not where you are. You're up here. We've gone for a lot of homemade gifts this year. Yeah, it's very exciting. So that's our Christmas tree. And it's amazing how you can turn a dead branch and give it a second lease of life, which feels super, super cool. And the best thing is we've got firewood at the end of it. So yeah, that's it. It's been really funny, and that's been one of my favorite things. And then you can see up there, that is 2 pine branches that we collected, and Anna has essentially pinned them together, so they're real pine. And then we've made we've got the odd branch of holly with another branch of pine, and I sort of tied them together, and then we've hung a couple of decorations on them, and they're on the light and stuff. So yeah, that's what we've gone for, and it's really nice actually. And we just put some holly branches up, and that's our Christmas decorations. And it's nice because every year you can do it a bit different and see what you find, and it sort of makes you go outside and look for stuff. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's quite a Danish thing actually to bring nature inside for Christmas, and I really like that concept because I think it is a time of sort of celebrating that everything is in hibernation, and to be able to find the green things as a reminder that there's life goes on throughout winter is a very beautiful thing and a beautiful concept. So yeah, that's us, man. That's our little Christmas tree. If you like a present. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, I don't really have any specific concepts for this. I thought about just having a chat about some sort of camping things and sort of keeping ourselves motivated throughout winter. And I know that this is a very busy time of year. I personally can vouch for the fact I haven't been outside much, but I'm very uninspired by where we live actually. I don't know about you, but it can be quite an obstacle to get in the car and go out and do something when time is so limited. Are you seeing this white dot here? Because I'm seeing a white dot. What is that? Oh no, I made it worse. Oh, look at me, I'm in jail. It wasn't me. Hang on, let's clean this again. Right, I'm just making everything worse. Don't touch. Oh no, now the light's gone. There we go. Oh, jeez. Okay, well, we just have this holy dot. At least it's not the black mark. The pirate mark, Pirates of the Caribbean. If I block that, there we go. Hello. So the white dot is with us. It's a polar bear evolving out of lichen. Thank you, James. I'm really glad you appreciated or you enjoyed the Mont Blanc film. It's I don't really feel like I've celebrated its release yet, but no, I'm just here to just hang out with you guys. Essentially, I'm talking absolute nonsense. I've already alluded to the fact I'm feeling a little bit under the weather today, and that really does go for my brain. But yes, so let's talk a little bit about camping, shall we? Let's give me some structure to this. So camping can be a real big obstacle for people when it comes to getting outside on multi-day trips. A lot of people, they want to do multi-day stuff and have an experience, but they are anxious to camp, and I think that's understandable. For me, I didn't start camping till I was 18 years old, and I'd already been walking since I was, since I learned to walk. See what I did there? But no, I did my first long distance trail in 2012. So I was 16. Was it 16? I think I was 16. I don't know, but I was about 16. So camping came into it a little bit later. We started with B&Bing, and then camping was only on campsites, and I did trails via campsites. I tried a little bit of wild camping a few years ago, and it was anxiety provoking, shall we say? I found it quite difficult. But I knew that it was difficult. I knew it was a fear thing, and I knew I just needed to work through it. So I got myself out and I did a few more wild camps, and then I did trails specifically for wild camping, like the West Island Way, and I pushed my limits, pushed my limits, pushed my limits. And then recently I've just done the Kungsleden, 3.5 weeks in Sweden, north of the Arctic Circle, and wild camped a big chunk of that, which was unfathomably amazing. And yeah, I hope to write about it and share that with you in a more practical, holdable thing, maybe. Let's see what we can do with that information. So I think what I'm basically saying with that is, if camping is something you would like to do and you do find yourself anxious, is don't beat yourself up. It's a process. We all start somewhere, and the end destination is whatever you visualize it to be. Some people will go, no, I never want to wild camp, and that's absolutely fine. But first of all, never say never, because you really do evolve in your confidence. But I think it's fine to just want to start with campsites and whatever. And you know what? There's times where I am traveling and now I have a van, and I'd much rather sleep in my van in a tent, because there's not the process of putting things down and packing things up. But it depends on what experience it is you're looking for. So I think the main thing I'd say about that is really identifying your why. So we're sort of looking at next year. If you want to get more camping in, it's what type of camping do you want to do, and actually setting yourself some kind of goal. If you don't put goals in the diary, they're never going to happen. They stay as dreams. And I really think actually committing to things pen to paper is one of the best ways to manifest and realize that dream, because you learn to hold yourself accountable. And if you miss that date, you see that thing on the calendar that you've missed, and it will be there forevermore. And it's quite upsetting. And you learn not to do that to yourself too much, because we owe it to ourselves to do what we want to do with our lives. So that's that. And then when it comes to actually staying in a tent, I mean, it seems like most of you guys are pretty kitted out. Tenting might not be your thing. I can see somebody there is chatting about bivvying. Bivvying, if you're unfamiliar, is essentially you have your sleeping bag and you have very high quality plastic bag that goes over the top. And your sleeping mat can either be in or out. And your head can either be in or out. You get some that have got like a slight hoop, so you can be sort of encased in it. And others are literally just a stuff sack type thing that you shove everything in and are just protected from the elements somewhat. And it's something I haven't done a lot of. I would like to do a lot of, and need to hold myself accountable and put something in the diary to do that, actually. It's so funny how a sheet of fabric can make you feel protected from what's going on around you, whereas when you're busy and you're not, you're 100% in the experience, even though you are in a tent, but psychologically. So yeah, it's that's another way of sort of getting out and accessing the hills very, very cheaply and adventurously. So coming back to the tent then, obviously you need a tent in order to camp. That's kind of half the point. Now, the tent market is vast and complicated and colourful. There are tents for £10. There are tents for £1,000. And I think, again, it's very easy to get lost in which tent to choose. I do have a video on how to choose a camping tent or a backpacking tent, where I set up so many different tents. Oh my gosh, that was a lot of tents. And sort of discussed the merits of all different types of tents. So you have freestanding tents like this one, which I can pick up. I'm not going to because my dog is in it. You've got tunnel designed tents, which are what you'll see in most of my videos. I use a tunnel tent. They require pegs to stay up, and they've either got sort of one central frame or three frames if it's like 1, 2, 3 poles is what I mean by frame. And the sort of the tension is created by the poles pulling the fabric tight. And then you have all sorts of other tents as well. And you have super ultra light tents, which tend to cost more because it's a more higher quality manufactured fabric that's used, and you've got all your different alloy poles and things, super light guy lines and all of that sort of stuff. And then you've got some sort of cheaper tents that are, yes, a little bit heavier, but they're still a tent, and they are usually pretty bomb proof, to be fair. And if you are looking to get a tent, I really do recommend starting with Vango. So Vango's sister company is oh my life, Wild Country. There we go. So there's the Zephyros is a very popular first tent, and I really recommend that. So I think if you're spending over £100 on your first tent, then you need to know that you are going to love camping. So yeah, so that's your tent. So once you've nailed it down and you've got a tent and you know what you're going for, the next thing you need is something to sleep in it. So a sleeping bag tends to be the standard option, or a sleeping quilt and a mat. So for anyone here who did DV or Scouts or anything like that here in the UK, then you will probably have used just a foam mat that is really large, kind of like a yoga mat. And it's not super comfortable, but it does the job. It offers a little bit of insulation off the ground, which is one of the main purposes. People think it's a lot about comfort, and it is. But the other is, we should lose a huge amount of body heat through contact with the cold surface of the earth. We're not in the middle of the earth. So yeah, that's essentially what the mat is for. And you'll read all about R ratings and all of that, and you can get hung up on all of that, but it really doesn't matter. A mat is a mat. Get a mat, any kind of mat. I really strongly recommend going to an outdoor store for this stuff because, what a lot of people find is that they find a mat online that looks super great, and then they actually lie on it and go, yeah, that's not so comfortable. So yeah, go and try some mats, and exactly the same for sleeping bags. So you've got two different types of sleeping bags. That's very basic. You've got down and synthetic. Down is lighter, but it doesn't perform very well if it gets wet. It loses its insulating property. There's a whole thing about hydrophobic down. So the down is treated to repel the water and it stays puffed up, but it doesn't. The end. Like, it's down. It can't. We're not ducks. And then there's the synthetic, which is bulkier, but it's much more reliable in sort of damper conditions. So if you were going somewhere, for example, like the Arctic, where they're getting a lot more rain than snow, that would be highly recommended to take a synthetic bag, because if your down bag gets wet, you've lost your lifeline, which is warmth and shelter. So yeah, synthetic bag is the way forward. If you're not going to the Arctic, then I'm a big fan of a down bag, I have to say. But Anne, who you've seen in some videos, swears by a synthetic bag, and she dries her flipping walking boots in her sleeping bag. Wouldn't do that even if it was synthetic, but she's just freaking next level at that. So it's fine. So that's the sleeping bag and your sort of sleeping system, as we would call it. And so what a lot of folks do is they break down their camping setup into different systems. So you've got sleeping system, cooking system, shelter system, tent essentially, or bivvy, and I think they're the main ones. Are they the main ones? Yeah, and then you've got all your carrying systems and whatever. So cooking system. So if you are staying in your tent, we're covering the absolute basics here. I'll come back to luxuries, and remind me if I don't. So you got tent, sleeping mat, sleeping bag. Next thing you need is something to cook with. If you want food, if you don't photosynthesize, or unless you photosynthesize. So I again have gone through a myriad of different stove systems. You've got your sort of classic gas-based systems, and you've got sort of all your alcohol stoves and your trangiers and all these different things. I'm sure, again, if you did any kind of outdoor curriculum, then you probably used a trangier here in the UK, or they are Scandinavian at the end of the day. But there's heavier systems, there's lighter systems, there's more reliable systems. We have ads coming up. Why are there ads on my live session? Be gone, ads. I know that means I earn nothing, but I'm not here to earn. I'm here to share the love. So yes, Rachel is saying bring a cooker. Good luck. You must be superhuman or have a horse. Sip of tea. So again, if you are looking to get a stove system, something like a Jetboil is a brand, although people use that interchangeably, kind of like Tarmac. Tarmac is a brand. It's not, oh god, my brain's not working. It's not the actual stuff they put on the ground, on the tarmac. In my life, my brain that backfired. So yeah, Jetboil is a really great way to go. Essentially, you've got your canister. You have a link that sort of screws onto the top of the canister, and then on that, you can screw in your your main water compartment, which is a liter, and then it boils water. So yeah, trangiers are super great. They're not super cheap, but they are constantly going secondhand everywhere. And that's something I just want to drop into this. If you are looking to get any kind of camping kit, definitely after Christmas, have a look on Facebook Marketplace, because there's just stuff going left, right, and center. I've just bought a pair of crampons off of there. I've got some winter skills stuff coming up. Crampons are really expensive, turns out. I don't want to pay £150, but I've just managed to get some for 80. They're brand new. And yeah, that's the first place I go. I needed some waterproof trousers as well, because I ran a bushcraft weekend and they got extraordinarily modified and I punctured them with the crampons previously. So I bought some new waterproof trousers, which they were brand new, tag still on, but literally half the price. And the same with my Montane trousers. You've seen me in my Montane Terror. If you haven't seen me in them, then you haven't been watching my videos, because they're what I live in. And I just bought an orange pair for climbing. And again, they are £95 now. Jeez, brand new. And I just bought off of Vinted a brand new pair for £40 with tags still attached. So secondhand is the way forwards, and it's definitely the most environmentally thing like you can do for the planet is buy secondhand, because it's just going to sit there otherwise, and that's how we stop mass production of everything. Like what goes around comes around, So yeah, that's something I'd really suggest, especially for this expensive hiking kit. The only problem I did find with the orange trousers is that I love orange, so I have orange trousers now. I have orange boots. I have an electric orange wild t-shirt. Then I have an orange Rab zip up, and then I have an orange Rab down jacket, and then I have a red waterproof coat. So I don't know what my trail name would be, but I don't even think I want to hike on the trail like that ever. And that's why my friend's there for climbing. So yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Please don't buy me orange things. Please buy me orange things. I like orange things. So yeah, anyway, that's that. Back to the cooking system. So Jetboil is a nice way to go. If you don't even want to fork out on a Jetboil, don't flip and bother. I don't have it on me. Where is it? It's in my rucksack. Oh no, that's in that room, not this room. I bought off eBay. No, I didn't. I don't shop on eBay. I bought off Amazon for £15. The lightest flipping stovetop that I've ever known in my life. My brother recommended it to me. He's a bike packer, so they go even lighter than hikers. And it's literally it's a. So you have your gas canister, and then you can have just like a little screw-on stove thing, which has got 3 prongs, kind of like a tripod, and then you pop a pan on top. Easy. By far the lightest way to hike here in the UK with a stove system. So I have that, and then I have a titanium pot. Now, titanium pots are expensive, but you could just get an ex-military mesh pot thing, whatever they're called. Can't think right now. You could even, dare I say it, use an empty chickpea can. Has to be chickpeas because I love chickpeas. But an empty can. Don't drink out of it, or don't cut yourself on the sharp bit, please. Thank you. Health and safety and all that. Yes. So that's my thank you, Mess 10. That's my recommendation with that. So yeah, or a solid fuel stove, exactly, just like they use in the military. There's so many different systems, and I think, it's kind of like cars. Which car should you buy, guys? Someone's going to say, oh, get electric. Someone's going to say, no, get diesel. Someone's going to say, use a Flintstones car. Someone's going to say, don't drive a car at all. Like, everyone has an opinion. It's the same with tents, sleeping systems, stoves. Doesn't matter. No one's opinion matters, because it's not going to change your life. It's education that's helpful. And so I'm trying not to give you my opinion. I'm just trying to give you some different ideas and places to explore. The best things you can do is to just try different things. So yeah, again, buying secondhand is always a really nice way to do that. So that's your cooking system. And then I sort of mentioned I was going to talk about luxuries. I think, when it comes to luxuries, it can be quite nice to have some kind of pillow situation. For years and years, I just put my rucksack underneath my head, and some clothes on top, so it just was a bit softer, and then I slept on that. Wonderful, absolutely great. But then I went to Globetrotters in Munich. If you go in there, you won't come out for approximately 5 days, because it's like 3 levels. They have a full-on water thing in the bottom, so you can ride the canoes. The top level is a climbing center. No, it might even be 4 levels, and then it's just level after level of awesome stuff. And we found these pillows, and they're actually a cocoon pillow. That's what they're called. And I love them. I love that pillow. It's so great. I lie on it and it's like, this is the good life. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my sleeping pillow. That's a good luxury. Obviously, the reason why we say something's luxury is because it's extra weight and you have to carry it. And then yeah, if you're going for a different experience, you might go for a kind of bushcrafty stove. Someone there has mentioned, a twig stove. You can get these honey stoves, which, essentially you feed twigs and you can cook on top of, and they're really, really lovely. Just don't burn your tent down. And, what else? Um, there's all sorts of different things you can have as luxuries. So yeah, I think, that's the very basics of what you need to get camping. And I am planning this year doing an introduction to camping course. So it's a weekend where we come together, we look at all of our kit, we have lots of different discussions about kit, and we camp out. There's not going to be very many spaces on that. It's not going to be wild camping, it's a dedicated space, but that is in the evolution of planning. Yes, and then as for walking, I will continue to run lots of different walking events. If you would like to walk with me, my next event is actually on New Year's Day down here in the southwest on the Quantock Hills, and then I'll be running a walk sort of in Wiltshire area, as I very often do in February, which is a lovely area or part of the world. So stay tuned for more. So yeah, that's sort of a good spiel on camping. I saw there was one question there earlier, which I'm just going to scroll up for. But if you do have any questions about anything, this is the last live session before Christmas. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a spontaneous live session on Christmas or not. So we're mostly going to be driving from the sounds of it. So I'm not entirely sure a live session and driving marry as a sensible thing. So yeah. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scroll up because I did see a question. Somebody also donated €2. That is extraordinary. Thank you so much, Connie. Every little helps. It really, really does. And I am going to share some final thoughts on how you can support Wild this Christmas, and I have a new film coming your way. So that will be dropping by out of my mouth, apparently, very soon. I work so hard on doing these real things now. Everything has to be short and snappy, but then there's nothing short and snappy about this, so never mind. What is your most valuable piece of kit on multi-day hikes? Sam Outdoors is asking. There we go. I did see a question, Sam. Boom. Now I have to think about the question. I would say probably coffee or tea or milk powder in order to have coffee or tea. And I joke about that, but honestly, like, I can put up with a lot camping. Like, wild camping does very often come with problems in terms of, like, you get ticks or you get slugs or you get spiders or it's really damp or whatever. And nothing really sort of boosts morale more than sort of having a good cup of coffee or a good cup of tea. And yeah, I always say that's one of my essentials, and I go to great extents to ensure that I have coffee and tea. So when I was on the Kungsleden, I did carry 3.5 weeks worth of coffee and tea. Some might call me mad, some might call me wise. Needs must, my friends. So yeah, that's honestly my answer. But when it actually comes to kit, if we put food and good things to the side, I actually would say my biggest luxury, which has been a real game changer this year, is my Thermarest sleeping mat. So I've used Thermarest for many years. I've used lots of different Thermarests. I have gone to the Neo Air, which is light. I have had some problems. They have also been really great. But this year I actually went to the wide Thermarest. Now, a lot of people, when they start this backpacking thing and they get a bit more serious, they go 3/4 length. So it doesn't even cover their whole flipping body. I've gone the opposite, mate. It's like, I'm not following this trend. I've gone wide. And what it means is I can roll about and I can lie on my side like a hedgehog and just be all super comfortable. And it's revolutionized my night's sleep and really, really helped my my back injury because I can actually relax. I'm not just like in this tense position, like don't go off the edge. And it's amazing. So yeah, it's really, really nice to have that. And I would say that's actually a pretty essential piece of kit for me now. And then I was also say a head torch. It's really nice to to see. Cool. I am stuttering here because I'm really running out of energy now. So guys, I obviously just want to wish you a really, really Merry Christmas. And I just say I really hope you have a wonderful New Year's as well. And a double mattress is not on the cards, Tony. But no, genuinely, it's been an amazing year, and it's been incredible to share this journey with you. And for me, my year is up, but for you, sort of viewing this year is really just beginning. So I've shared the Mont Blanc film from this year's expedition, and on Christmas Day, I am going to be releasing my next documentary film, which I'm in the final throes of finishing, which is on the African Tail Way. Huh? You say? The African Tail Way. Huh? Yes, the African Tail Way. So if you haven't heard of it before, it's a 45-mile hike through the Scottish Highlands. Well, is it even the Highlands? I think it's the Highlands. Through Glen Affric, essentially. It was recommended to me by my good friend Sam. We went up there in April and had a little wee wander, and I decided, I have to come back. So I did, and I walked it. And I wild camped one night. I stayed in the campsite one night, and it also goes past the most remote youth hostel in the country. And what I just want to say is expect awe-inspiring scenery. It is phenomenally beautiful. And I really hope you enjoy that film. So that's coming out on Christmas Day. I haven't decided when I'm going to put that out yet. I think I might put it out like 8 in the morning. So then it's there ready to go, and it's got sort of a bigger chunk of time for different time zones. So everyone thinks it's the African Tailway. I was speaking to my mum the other day, and she's like, "You went to Africa?" I was like, "Huh?" No, the African Tailway. But if you haven't done this trail, I undoubtedly expect that once you finish watching this trail, you're going to want to hike it. It was amazing. So that's coming out on Christmas Day. Woohoo! If you're excited, thumbs up, please, people, in the comments. And then I just want to also say, as I say, if you want to join me on my wild walk on New Year's Day, that'd be amazing. We've still got a whole bunch of spaces there left on that walk. It would be lovely to hike with you and kickstart the new year, hanging out with you folks. In addition, I just want to ask a really, really, really big favor. So these are quite challenging times to be on YouTube as a creator. I have to put it out there. And I'm sort of really questioning the future of what I'm doing, because it's just becoming unsustainable on a lot of fronts. And I feel like I am putting in 10,000% effort. But YouTube is extremely unpredictable, and it favors certain things. And I am certainly not being favored at the moment. And I just wanted to ask whether over this Christmas period, or today, or right now, you would be able to share some of my videos. Now, you can literally do that by taking the link and putting it onto Facebook, putting it onto Instagram, sending it to some friends and family to say, watch it this Christmas period. So one that you found inspiring, like give a little testimonial and try and inspire them to watch that video, or take a screenshot of you watching it, share it on socials, tag me. You know, the thing is, like, the future of all of this stuff really does rely on social media, and I find that difficult because that's a big part of like just something I have to do. I try and interact in a personal way on each different one, but I say I'm really favoring Instagram at the moment because it is the easiest, and I definitely have the biggest sort of interaction there. But I'm also going to be making a real effort with YouTube stories. So basically every time on Instagram, I put up a reel, which is what, one of those 90-second things where it's, a promotion, or I'm just chatting or whatever. I'm going to try and remember to put it onto YouTube as well. So it's just going to be, again, a little bit of like, hey, sort of thing, sharing some thoughts, whatever it is, updates, but keep an eye on YouTube stories. Of course, it's free. And all of that's really going to help me. So the other thing as well you can do is literally ignore me. So if you click on one of my videos and you click mute and you just leave it to play, and you leave all of the adverts to play and everything to play, and you don't even need to watch it, that is going to be absolutely incredible and help with my my boosting, because what I need is people to watch the videos, and I need people to watch the adverts. And this is the biggest problem. I do genuinely think YouTube is in a little bit of a self-destruct spiral, because they are prioritizing creators that are privatizing their stuff, because YouTube wants money. They might delete this video. They're probably going to delete this video. They want money from the advert companies. And thus it's really difficult trying to keep my content free and available for people. And I'm losing my mojo a little bit, and it makes me quite like emotional, because I spend best part of 6-7 months of the year out filming these content. It takes me a year to edit them and get them out, and I work really, really hard, and there is no rest, and there is no life balance, and there is no normal jobbing. For it to not be recommended and put out there and reached by people, and for me to get very, very, very little financially back for it. And it's becoming tight now. So literally by doing those things, you know, it's the adverts that make a difference. It's liking, it's commenting, it's sharing, all of those simple things you can do. And you don't even need to watch the stuff again if you've watched it, but just making that effort to find new people. It's word of mouth essentially that creates the uh, the change that I really need to see to get things rolling again. So yeah, that's the one thing I wanted to say about that. And please do tag me and stuff. Like I do see things, particularly on Instagram, as I say, it's at Abbie Barnes Wild, and that makes a massive difference. So I just want to say thank you, because obviously just by being here and by watching my videos, it makes a massive difference. And not even on a monetary number base, but just on the fact that I feel like this is for something. Um, you know, when you aren't necessarily like dotting the i's and crossing the t's with those numbers, the default is to at least know that I'm helping people and that there is purpose behind these films. And knowing that you guys are here really just gives me that fire, you know, and reminds me it's yeah, it's worth continuing. So thank you for being here. But if you can, click on adverts and then close the tab, or if you can watch the adverts, that's just going to make all the extra difference. And then the final thing is, if in 2024 you would like to support the creation of content for next year on a monetary basis, you can either make a one-off donation through PayPal, which you can find on my website. I'll send the link in a minute. Or you can join my Patreon community, where you will genuinely get stuff back for it. There's audio diaries, there's postcards, there's live sessions, there's yada yada, read it, there's different stuff. There's a whole community. And I'm not trying to sell this as a help, I need money. That is one thing. But the second of it is, you know, that I genuinely believe there is something for people there. And if you really want to do yourself the favor and have that community and accountability for next year, then that is going to make all the difference to your 2024. I don't even question that. So yeah, thank you for listening. I know someone is going to go, it's promotion, and yeah, it is promotion, but you know, why can't I do an advert for my stuff? And then last but not least is, in springtime, I will be doing another t-shirt sale. So I did plum this autumn, and my community will be doing a vote on the spring color pretty soon. But in the meantime, if you do want to get yourself a Stay Wild, Spend More Time in the Wild t-shirt, they are still available on the store. And of course, hoodies. This is so old now. It's going to look a bit tidier than this. We've got hoodies. And then there's a few other things on there. And as of January 1st, I am going to be launching my Sew On patches, which say "Believe You Can, Get Up, Get Out, Spend More Time in the Wild," as individual products. Previously, they've only been for sale in a bundle, but we'll get them for sale as individual products. And yeah, see what folks think about that. So thank you for committing to regularly ignoring me. I really appreciate that. But you know what, folks, it's time to wrap this up. I've actually hung out longer than I thought I would, so that's super nice. So don't forget, join me on New Year's Day if you can. Book that walk through my website. Head over to the store. There's different stuff going on there. Any purchases you help, it all goes straight back into Wild, so it makes a massive difference. Play videos on mute, let the adverts play, massive difference. Thank you. Click the adverts. It's a quicker way of getting them over and done with. Like, comment, and share. Share is probably the biggest one, because that helps people watch the videos, and then YouTube recommends them to more people. And if you want to step that up a next level, you can donate for a one-off donation, or you can subscribe to my Patreon platform. So that is that. Don't forget, keep that notification bell turned on. The fact that you're all here, you probably already have that, so good job on technologying. I may or may not be dropping by on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, so just stay tuned. I think that'd be quite nice to be spontaneous anyway. But I just want to say once again, I appreciate you all. I can't believe that this is the end of most of this year. That was the worst sentence ever. I'm just saying this because I'm like, oh, maybe I can hang out on New Year's Eve as well. I might see you again, I might not, but stay tuned. Christmas Day, Afric Kintail Way. What? Is coming out on Christmas Day. Yeah, folks, you're amazing. Look after yourself. Enjoy your camp outs tonight, wherever you are. Stay warm, stay safe, and stay merry. You guys inspire me. Thank you. And until next time, from me and Bobby. He's sleeping. We are saying Stay wild, folks. See you soon. Big hugs and all the Merry Christmas wishes. Bye.